Welcome to Counseling Talk. We are going to dive into boundaries and how to set boundaries in your life, in your relationship with your kids, with yourself. Now, before we do that, let's really get into a definition of, what's a boundary? Is a boundary me saying no, maybe saying yes, me telling someone I don't want to do that. I like to look at a boundary in a very clear way. Imagine you've got your crib, your home, right? And you've got that big front door. A boundary is your home. A boundary is that big front door. It's what you let in versus what you don't let in. And the reason that we want to be able to define a boundary is so you know how to play with it. And I'll give you an example of what a boundary looks like in a relationship so that you're able to kind of get this idea and conceptualize it and use it in your life. Now, let's say that you have a relationship with your partner. And then you get home and your partner is just, drinking a lot and it's in front of the kids. At that moment, you can say, hey, listen, I'm not going to stay here. And our child's not going to stay here while you continue to drink, while you continue to yell and to be mean towards us. We're gonna go stay at my cousin's house. Or we're gonna stay at my friend's house. So then what you're doing in that moment is you are removing yourself from that situation, because at the end of the day, we can't change someone else. We can't say, hey, listen, I need you to stop doing that. That puts too much control there. We really want to allow the other person to make a change based off of our behaviors, leading by example, if you will. So the boundary that took place there is, if I'm that person that said I'm going to go back to my cousin's house because I'm not going to allow myself to be in this environment. Did you catch those words? That's the boundary. I'm not going to allow myself to be in this environment. I'm not going to allow myself to be treated in a negative way. So then I would exit out of that. And I kind of have some things written down here as my eyes are going to move that I want to share with you when it comes to boundaries. I want you to keep an eye out for these. So the first one is, I will take care of myself first. Now, some of you out there may be like, whoa, first? That sounds kind of selfish. There's a saying that someone told me, and it's, if mama's not doing well, then the rest of the family's not doing well. And the narrative to that is that you got like these kids at home and they're energetic and they need mom to take care of them. Well, if mom every day is giving that 110%, right? On Monday, 110, on Tuesday, 110, we know what's going to happen on Wednesday. On Wednesday, she's going to be like a 90%. On Thursday, she's going to be a 50%. And no matter how much she loves her children, she won't be able to show up entirely there for them, which is not her intention, right? Her intention is to be there, to be focused, to be supportive, to be loving and nurturing. So that's where we want to go into another boundary, right? The boundary of making sure that we take care of ourselves. So in your life, I want you to think about this question. How do I take care of myself? And it should be something every day you should do. Every day there should be activities that you're engaging in. For me, it's getting on and reading books, audio books, or exercising. I'm in my home office right now, and right across from me, I have an elliptical. So it's when I have breaks, I hop on the elliptical and I do that. Or if I showed you a video of the floor, over here on the floor, I've got a kettlebell, and then I've got one of those ab wheel rollers. So that's part of my taking care of myself first. And then on my desk to the side, I have a journal. And it's my journal where I journal personal things that are going on. I journal my career areas, just different areas to make sure that, mentally and mindfully, I'm able to kind of get that out and put it into a healthy space. So then I asked you the question, what are you doing to take care of yourself first? What are these activities? And that really strongly connects to a boundary. So then you're kind of wondering, well, how does that connect to a boundary? Here's how. If I just shared with you all of these activities that I do, right? That connect to the question of, this is how I take care of myself first, right? And you're like, well, yeah, I got that, Juan. I know how you take care of yourself. Cool. Now let's say that someone impedes into my space, right? Someone says, hey, listen, I need this thing from you. I need you to do this. And then in my mind, I go, well, that means I have to skip over all of the activities that I normally do to take care of myself. I'm skipping my morning workout. I'm skipping my journal writing. I want to be able to acknowledge if I'm okay saying yes. Because if I'm not okay, if I'm not okay with that, then what could take place is that I agree, or I'm okay saying no, right? Yes or no, is that I agree with the individual and I say, sure, I'll do whatever it is that you need me to do. But in the back of my mind and my gut, I'm like, I'm skipping my workout. I'm not living intentionally. I'm not living purposefully. I'm breaking my own boundary. And if I break my own boundary, then I'm leading by example. I'm leading by example that those around me in my circle, they're going to say, well, he breaks his own boundaries. So there's no reason I couldn't do that too with him. So I want you to think about that. Today was more a video of a small taste when it comes to boundary. I just want to kind of give you an introduction, something you could play with, something you could think about as you go forward. A beautiful activity is that you write down the answer to, these are all the ways that I take care of myself. And then once you have all of those jotted down, I want you to play around with the idea of how many times are you able to stick to it versus how many times do you break, that boundary, and then, you allow someone into your space, and then you're not taking care of yourself. You're not engaging in that list of activities that you wrote down because maybe you had a hard time saying no, or maybe you had a hard time sticking to your boundary. As always, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing space. Subscribe to the channel. Share with anyone in the community. Anyone out there that is looking to move forward, to address mental health challenges, to build a healthy mindset, to have a healthy relationship, a healthy life. I would love for them to be here in this community. And thank you for being here. I hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful day.